Hello, everyone. Welcome to WOTS Weekly Features. Today's guests are Naziha and Akansha from the Children's Book Bank. We'll be talking about volunteer opportunities and resources for teen readers. I'm Yeli, and I'll be your host. WOTS Toronto operates on land that is the territory of the Huron-Wendat and Paytune First Nations, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nation. This territory is the subject of the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, an agreement between the Haudenosaunee Confederacy and the Confederacy of the Anishinaabe and Allied Nations to care for and share the resources around the Great Lakes in peace. We encourage you to educate yourself about the land that you live on, wherever you're tuning in from. All right, so for our guests, Naziha is an inspiring teacher who adores working with children. Books and literature hold a special place in her heart. She enjoys writing poetry and drawing in her free time, letting her imagination loose to take her where it pleases. And a recent rediscovery of Anne of Green Gables has led to a newfound love for Anne Shirley and has fueled her imagination for It's Delightful When Your Imaginations Come True, isn't it? And then we're also joined today by Akansha, who is a book bank user and works with the Children's Book Bank through their Readers to Leaders program. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to chat with you. So I've read your little bios, but let's go ahead and start off by please introducing yourselves. Tell us anything that you'd like us to know about you and maybe what brought you to the book bank. What was that journey like for you?
Yeah, for sure. So, like you said, my name is Naziha. I work here at the book bank and I've lived in Regent Park for my entire life. So the book bank has really been a part of my life and a part of me for probably as long as I can remember. I came here as a child to pick up books with my family, to read here, participate in their activities and their workshops and such. And so being able to kind of work here again and give back to the community has been so amazing, and it's been such a great experience. So it's definitely shaped who I am today in part. So it's great to be part of the book bank and to work here again. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm Akansha. Like Naziha, I've also lived in Regent Park for all of my life. I came to the book bank for the first time in grade 1 or grade 2-ish for one of our school trips. And we had a really great read aloud from one of the people that work here at the book bank. Then my mom really fell in love with the place. We came here regularly for years and years. And now I work here, and it's really great to give back. So, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. It's so nice to hear that the book bank is a place where folks go and can get access to those resources, but also then participate and become part of that community. That's so lovely.
For sure.
All right, so let's dive into our next question. What does the book bank mean to you?
I guess the best way that I can put it is that it's like a second home to me. Like I said before, it's definitely shaped who I am, and it's been a part of the reason why I've grown to love reading and love literature and books and things like that so much. And so it really feels like a second home, in that all the people that I've met, all the connections and relationships that I've been able to form have had a really positive impact on my life and my outlook on different things.
Okay, and for me, the book bank is really a part of who I am because it really fostered my love for reading. The people here have always supported and encouraged my reading journey and the reading journeys of so many kids that have walked in. And on a personal level, I also overcame one of my greatest fears here, which was talking to new people. And because I was super shy as a kid, which is something a lot of kids suffer from. And since everyone who works at the book bank from then until now and in the future too, they're so welcoming and friendly, it's hard not to want to share your love for reading and your other passions with them, whether it's gardening or collecting rocks. So yeah, it's just really, like I said, a huge part of who I am, and it made me who I am today. So
It's just so
Awesome.
interesting because I try to find the words to explain what it means to me, but it's kind of like I'm at a loss for words almost. Like that's
Hmm.
how like important the bank is to me.
So sweet. And Naziha, you mentioned, well, I pulled your bio and I saw that you are kind of an aspiring teacher. Is that also related to that time at the book bank that you've spent there?
Yeah, for sure. I know like being with the kids, reading with them and trying to find books that they love, I really discovered my passion and my interest for working with children in that light. So it definitely fostered my interest to become a teacher. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm. Very cool. I like Akansha as well. I like that you mentioned that you started off as like a shy reader because I feel like that's a very like a kind of a stereotype out there of like the reader who has their nose in the book and doesn't speak to anybody. But I love now that like we have book talk now and we have tons of people like having these conversations, and it's very cool that the book bank also does that as well. Let's see. Could you give us a rundown of some of the services that the book bank offers? Like if I'm a reader, what does the book bank do for me? What can I access there?
Yeah, of course. So, aside from our main kind of delivery of books to the public, so families come in, they choose one book per child, and including the adult. So, giving out free books is kind of what we mainly do. But aside from that, we have story time. That's another huge part of what we do. So, a lot of families they come in not just to pick out books, but for the environment, for the atmosphere, and for being able to have that story time and the community around that and things like that. So we definitely offer the story time. Lots of when the school year rolls around again, there's going to be lots of after school activities that we put together and events and such for all the keen readers. And as well as that, we also do lots of outreach, so providing books and boxes of books and things like that to community supporters, other community places and organizations, and reaching out to that. So lots of outreach in that respect. Yeah, so those are just some of our resources. We also have a program called the Bookworms program. So that's for all of our readers who want to engage in a community of other readers and find like-minded readers and share opinions, share thoughts, share experiences they've had about reading books. So our Bookworms program is also another popular event and activity that we have.
Very cool. Who doesn't love a book club?
I know.
Um,
It's they're so fun. They're so fun.
so fun. How does the teen book bank work specifically? So, if I'm a teen and I've just walked into the book bank for the first time, what does that look like, and like what happens next?
Okay, so for the Teens Book Bank, you essentially walk into this room and there are shelves with books. And they're all organized by genre and by and last name of author. So it's almost like a library, but the fun part is you get to choose a book, they're all brand new, and you get to take it home with you for free. There's no registration or anything like that required.
Heck yeah, so fun. I love that. Do you folks keep how does the sorry, words. How do you get new books? Like do you get new books every year? Can I walk in and find that like brand new book that I want to read?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like how we get books, a lot of times they come from the community and they come from donations. So lots of the time it's kind of whatever the community and supporters and organizations decide to bring to us is how we get most of our inventory and stock. But I think the cool part of it all is that we see a lot of recurring readers, so people that grow up with us. So we have children who kind of grow up with the book bank and then suddenly they're like 14, 15, and they still want to use our resources and what we have to offer. And so the teen book bank, we usually see kids that have kind of graduated from the children's book bank almost and moved on
Mhm.
to the teen book bank, which is always fun to see. And so we have an idea of what type of books they like to read, and we can always recommend and things like that. So I think that journey of from the children's book bank to the teens book bank is always is a really beautiful one. Yeah.
Very cool, definitely. And then Akansha, I know that you work with the Readers to Leaders program. What does that program look like specifically? What do you do there?
Okay, so as a reader to leader, I do some practical services like sanitizing desks, organizing books, and things like that. But the fun part is I also get to help kids choose the books that they want, help them find books. And as I entered the Readers to Leaders, at first I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know how powerful my role was going to be. But as a teen, I really get to connect with these younger kids and share my love with reading, which is something I didn't expect because I didn't know I was capable of that. So as a reader to leader, I came to realize that I can also encourage and support the reading journeys of different kids that walk in, just like the book bank did for me when I was younger.
Very cool. It must be fun also to get to talk about your own favorite books and recommend books to people.
Definitely. Sometimes I talk a little too much, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, never talk too much about books. That doesn't exist. Let's see. You also, I noticed you have a couple of fundraising events for the book bank that have been canceled this year. I noticed that there's a story night and an annual book sale. What do those look like when they're up and running?
Yeah, so for obvious reasons due to the pandemic, we've kind of had to limit the things that we can offer. But a lot of the time, our events, like the ones you've mentioned, will have kind of get-togethers at the book bank or at or some other location where families get together. They kind of share their love for reading, and we have different activities that revolve around like the theme. So I think another one that I can think of that we've done in the past is we did a Harry Potter night. I remember, which so it's always so fun because who doesn't love Harry Potter? Or we have different genres and themes and things revolving around books where people get to share their love, and we have events and activities related to those. So so that's what those would look like. And yeah.
Very cool. Aside from all of the things we've talked about so far, are there any ways that teens can get involved with the book bank that we haven't mentioned?
Definitely. So aside from the Teens Book Bank, for older readers, visitors, and for just kids over 16 and over, we have volunteer opportunities. And the way it works is you just go onto our website, and I'm pretty sure there's like a volunteer form, is it? That you just fill out. And I think it would be Laura Beth Gregg who would get in touch. And then you would be able to volunteer at the book bank. And the role is similar to Readers to Leaders, where you would do practical things like sanitizing and organizing books, but also help kids find books and really connect them with their love for reading.
Very cool. Very fun. I would love to chat with you about books. We're all book lovers here. What are some of your favorite books currently?
Oh, okay. I think my all-time favorite book has to be The Tale of Bessborough. I just love the relationship, the friendship that the little mouse and the princess make, and it's just, I don't know, I find it very touching. So I know as a child when I read that for the first time, I knew like that would be it, like that would be my favorite book forever. But in terms of my favorite young adult book, it would probably be I think it's a set of 4 books. It's called The Lunar Chronicles. Those are so good. They're so interesting. The fantasy, the sci-fi, it's such a great mixture of genres. Like it blew my mind the first time I read it.
So cool. I've heard a lot of those, a lot of recs for that again on Book Talk. So they must be good.
All right. So for me, honestly, I can't choose one. If I had to go with my top 2 most recent favorite books, it would have to be Those Who Pray by Jennifer Moffett. It's a story about this girl who accidentally joins a cult, and it's really cool to see how she has to go through this entire experience and then recover from it. And aside from that, I also really like S.E. Hinton's The Outsiders, because it's just an awesome story, coming of age modern classic to connect with, and it really just transcends generations. But those are my only two favorite books of this week. I can't help but fall in love with the characters and stories of books every week. So, yeah.
Totally. Very cool. The Outsiders is also so cool because it was written by somebody when they were a teenager as well, I believe, which is always fun.
Yes.
Always nice to find those books. All right. Do you two have a favorite memory of working with the book bank that you'd like to share?
Well, my favorite memory of working with the book bank as of right now is actually when this little boy came in and then he picked up this book and ran over to me and he was just standing next to me. So I was like, trying to start a conversation. And he randomly just went, elephant. And it was just so adorable. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's an elephant. So I took some books to restock. And he kept following me around and pointing out things about the book bank. And he was so young. So it was great to be able to help him recognize all these different things, like this dragon kite we have in our picture book room, or a little touch and feel panda board book that he picked up. So for me, that was just an awesome memory because it was just not only adorable, but it just made me feel like I was being looked up to, which may be a little bit selfish. But yeah, it was really awesome. But when I was a kid, my favorite memory was getting a gold medal in our reading Olympics, which took place in the last Olympics before the pandemic. So yeah, that's a vivid memory I have.
Wow, good for you, gold medalist. Very fun.
Yeah, I think it's so hard. I don't think I can pinpoint one memory either, but for me, I think like the bulk of my good memories come from like the children that I get to know that come and frequent the place like every week, because then we form a relationship and they're like, "Oh, when are you next here?" Or they ask me like, "Oh, what days are you working?" And then, I'm like, "Oh, I'm not here on Wednesday." They're like, "Oh." Like I think like the relationships and the bonds that we form with the children, and as Akansha said, like they start to look up to us, or they start asking us more questions, or they want to kind of talk to us more. I think those are like the most precious like moments.
It makes you feel like you're an older sibling to the kids that come into the book bank.
Totally. Such a cool leadership role and opportunity for sure. Let's see. Do you two have any hopes and dreams for the future of the book bank?
I think in terms of hopes and dreams, I definitely the first thing that like comes to mind is I want to be able to continue this for as long as I can. Like I want to make sure that more children have access to these places, and I definitely want to see more children transition from the children's book bank to the teen book bank. I think for me that's like a huge thing, because I know lots of teens struggle with finding books that they want to read or that they like to read, and it can be really hard. And so making that transition from reading children's books to to the teen book bank, and fostering that love for reading and really finding what it is that they like, I think for me is a hope and future goal that I have, I guess.
For sure. Very cool.
Okay, and for me, I guess like Naziha said, I would love to continue working here for as long as I can. And another thing I really want to do is hopefully we can get back to some more in-person activities and programs at the Children's Book Bank, because although we're open to kids and teens coming in to pick their own books, like I said, we used to have things like the Summer Reading Olympics, or this year the Summer Bookworms program would have been in person and not online. And there's just something that's so different and unique when you're able to talk to a child face to face and get that in-person communication going on with them and really form a genuine connection. And it's something I would love to form with at least one child before I go to university and who knows where. So yeah.
Sure, absolutely. I can't wait to see all of these amazing things happen for you guys and for the book bank. How can we as readers and writers and people in the community uplift all of the work that you do at the book bank?
Yeah, so I think in terms of supporting us as far as that goes, we have we're holding a fundraiser right now in the fall called our Back to the Books campaign. And so with that, to support, we would encourage people to consider making a donation. That would help us greatly. And aside from that, we also accept book donations. So we have specific days where we're taking book donations, and so donating your gently used books is always another option. And for more information about both of those ways to support, definitely visit our website.
Awesome. Very cool. And is there a place, you mentioned your website, does the book bank have a newsletter or any social medias that we can keep up with as well?
We have an Instagram page, we have a Twitter page. All of our social media is also linked on our website, and we do have newsletters that go out. So feel free to look on our website for that information as well.
Awesome. All right. Is there anything that either of you would like to mention or say that we haven't covered already?
I don't think so. Is there anything?
No.
I think we're good.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for joining us today and talking to us about your experiences. It's been so fun.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, everyone, to find out more about the Children's Book Bank and access their resources, go to childrensbookbank.com. This has been today's WOTS Weekly Feature. Tune in next week for our WOTS Weekly Feature finale, Memoir Week. And if you're looking for some more YA teen-related content, check out this Friday's WOTS Summer Spectacular event, the Inspire Teen Reads Competition. You can find more information about that on our website. And for this week's discounts and deals, visit toronto.thewordonthestreet.ca/weekly-features. From all of us at WOTS, happy reading.